Okay.
All right, Maggie, I hit the record button. It's 11 o'clock, so we can get started, and anybody coming in late could rewatch this on our YouTube channel for the New England region.
Awesome. Okay. Hi, guys. How are you today? I see we've got a couple of thumbs up. So today we're going to go over the guides on your app, and they also show up, if you didn't know this, on your website as well. And these guides are kind of important. The reason why we have them, it kind of makes your app very unique. It's not just a search app, but also a way for your clients to follow along with what you're doing, following along with the process, right? Because we all know, especially if they're a first-time home buyer, even if they've done it before, right? There's a lot of times when they just don't know what the next step is, and hopefully this will give them a lot more clarity, and also keep them following along with the process. And for yourself, maybe answer some questions before they call you at 10 o'clock at night looking for that answer. We've all been there when, you know, it's midnight and they don't know what the next step is, and they call you and you're like, well, I'm trying to sleep. So hopefully that this helps a little bit alleviate some of that pressure as well. So let us begin here. So let me share my screen. Okay. All right. Okay, can you guys all see it? Thumbs up, anybody? Cool. Thank you. All right, so the thing that we have here is the dashboard. So this is command, so I'm going to show you how to get to where we need to go. So we need to get to the consumer part of it because this is part of our consumer applet, right? This is, you can, if you guys notice up here at the top, you see this, your all new KW app is here. Lots of people have this little header. This is the Kelly guide for setting up your mobile app. And the steps for setting up your guide is also through here. I'm going to show you the longer way of doing it, but this is also here to help you as a step-by-step process to go through the whole process. But we're going to go right to the consumer app right now. Okay. So once we're in the consumer app, you're going to see an option for guide builder. So we're going to go do that. All right. And you're going to see that you have two guides. You have a buying guide and a selling guide. You will eventually have options to add more guides, but for right now, we just have the two, buying and selling. Makes sense. Two both sides of the coin, what we do for real estate here. So let me show you what we have in here. So we'll go ahead, and you can see also as well, you see how many steps. Sorry about that. So you have your 9 steps in here, and I have 7 steps in here, and I can see how many clients are actually using my guide at the moment. So we have under buying, we can go ahead and do an edit here. And this is where we can edit our steps. So right here, you see in the guide, these are the steps it comes with. If you've done nothing, you're going to have your default steps. And you're going to see, I believe, start your search, get pre-approved, tour homes, make an offer, home inspection, home insurance, home warranty, and close. So these are all steps in the process to buying a home. Now, the cool part here is here's where we can customize it to fit our business and how we would like to tell our clients how the process of home buying works. And we can do that in multiple ways. You can edit each individual step. So if I click on start your search, the edit section comes up, and we can see the card title, we can see the subtitle, and this is what they see at first, and then you're gonna see your workspace text. The workspace text is when they click on start your search, that section, this is the sort of the inside of the real meat of the step itself. So you're gonna see that the workspace text is in here. Now, I am going to recommend wholeheartedly, whether or not you decide to customize these steps or not, to go through each step and read each step, because this is very, very generic and it's supposed to fit pretty much all of the United States. However, right? There are some mentions if you've never touched it. I believe there's like some mention of my assistant Al will do this for you. I don't know how many of you have an assistant named Al, but I know I don't. So you want to make sure that you go through and it says exactly what you want it to say, whether you want to add steps or not add steps to this. We can, so before we get into really customizing this, I just want to show you what these steps are. Now, the get pre-approved steps is a step that we actually don't get to customize a whole lot. All we can do with it is the face value of it, because it is a Smart Step workspace. So what Smart Step workspace means that it goes to a page all about something that Keller Williams has created. In this case, for Get Pre-Approved, it goes to a page all about Keller Mortgage. Now, if you don't want this step, you can delete it altogether, and I'll go over how to delete a step in a second. But I wanted to just for you to be aware that some of these steps go to a default place. They're called Smart Steps, and you can see Preview Smart Step Workspace. And if you click on that, it's not going to pop up for me today, but that's okay. I'll show you in a minute what that looks like on the app too, so you can see it. So we can only change the picture itself and the title and the subtitle. The same thing, the other Smart Step in our tour of a buyer guide here is home insurance. And the home insurance also has the Smart Step workspace. So we can only change the card subtitle and the card title. Everything else is what they call an educational step, in which case we can edit everything about it, what happens when they click on it, what it says, and all of that stuff. So let's talk about getting rid of some steps first. So if I wanted to get rid of a step, if I select a step, you notice there's a little trash can here, remove step. So I can go ahead and remove the step. If I do that, it'll delete the step itself. If I wanted to reorganize the steps, let's just say I thought getting pre-approved should come after tour homes. I can just, if you notice I'm hovering over, the 6 dots here, and a little hand appears. I can click on that and drag it up or drag it down, right? So I can move it around in how I have the steps. Now, what if I want to add a step, right? What if I am missing a step here? And for some of you, you may want to do this. For example, if you're in Massachusetts, the default here doesn't have the purchase and sale step, right? And that's obviously a big step in the Massachusetts process, right? So we want to make sure that it gets added to it. So if I wanted to add a step, if I scroll all the way down to the bottom, I can hit add a step. And it's going to say, okay, do you want to create a whole custom step, or do I want to select a default step? The default steps are nice because I can go ahead and say, oh yeah, I want to do execute contract, and it'll bring up an old step that I may have deleted already. But I wanted to create a custom step here, and I want to say, let's just say I want to add the purchase and sales step. Walk through the purchase and sales step with me, okay? And then card image, you have to add an image to the card. And if you click it, it goes right to your browser in your computer, where you just pick a picture that you may have. So I do have one that I saved for this in particular. And I'll hit continue. Okay. And so now I have a purchase and sales step. And I'm going to bring it up to here. I can't win with the noises today, honestly. Hold on one second while I move my location. Wow, I can't win. Andrew, I'm going downstairs. I got it. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. That's a lot of fun. All right. So now, once we are here, I can go ahead and now I can go ahead and edit the workspace details. So I'm going ahead and click on it. And you can see when I start a step, there's nothing in the workspace text. And I can start typing all about what the step entails. So I can go ahead and say, well, during the purchase and sales, this is what we go through. This is what you should expect. You'll talk to your lawyer. You basically walk through going through your, the struggles are for all us. Thanks, Rick. I really appreciate it. Working from home sometimes. All right. So for an example, this is something I wrote before. The crucial period between an offer and a purchase and sale is important to stay in close contact with me. So you've equipped all the information you need to make smart decisions. What should I expect to see in the contract, right? And it goes through very, very specific things about accuracy of the information, what should be in the purchase and sales contract, who's reviewing the contract with them, and talking about the negotiation process before the purchase and sales contract. So be really specific in here. Like I said, this is supposed to be helping your client understand the process a little bit, right? I mean, you go through it when you do your sit downs with them with the buyer consultation or the seller consultation. You go through the process, but they're going to forget that by the time they hit where they're actually in the particular process itself. So you want to make sure that you're getting really, really specific in here in terms of how the process works in each stage. So when I'm done making my edits here, right, and I can, at any point in time, I can edit, I can update my image or do the card title. I can save my changes. And then it's all set to go. And like I said, we have all of these steps already pre-planned, but we can go ahead and edit those. And then once we have our guide, once we figure out that this is the way I want this to look, then the next step is the introduction, right? So the introduction is just the first thing they see when they start a guide, right? Your timeline guide. And you can change the title of it. And you can change the message on here. So mine says, congratulations starting the process with buying your home. The timeline will guide you through the steps required. I'm providing insights on each steps. You don't need to follow it exactly, but I recommend you consider each step, especially if you're the first time home buyer. So it just gives them an idea of what's coming. And if you've made any changes, you want to save changes. So I have not made any changes here. Now I have. Okay. And then once you've done with one, you should go ahead and start another one. Right? And this is the seller's guide, just so you guys can see, right? So we're walking through the process, staging your home, showing your home, review offers, inspection, purchase and sales. I did the purchase and sales on this one already. Appraisal and close. Right? So if I wanted to add a step in here specifically to fit my business or what they should do with me, right? I could add after close, I could say, I'm going to send you a survey or something along those lines, just to make sure that they're going there. Everything I'm talking about, they're expecting from me or they're expecting from the process. And get, like I said, get very, very specific in here. Just to give you an example of staging your home. We want to talk about things that we can do to prepare your home, clean deeply, paint, do some repairs, remove personal items. It just walks through the entire process. And to any questions before I show you what this looks like in the app? Any questions about this process itself?
Yes, I have a question. Is it possible to create additional listings? And the reason I ask is, because we're in Massachusetts and we have, well, every state has its own idiosyncrasies.
Yes.
I'd like to create my own process, but I don't want to delete the original one that is in command, because, you know, I mean, you start editing and then you realize you're too far afield, you didn't know what you were doing, and it's all a mess, and you want to start from scratch again.
Yes. So can I get something I've deleted back, basically, is what you're asking, one of the originals?
Well, when I make that's one way to put it. What I'm thinking of more specifically is I do my edit and then I save it as
As a different list altogether.
As a different list altogether.
Yeah. So as of right now, you cannot do a separate list. You're just stuck with those two, buying or selling. In the future, they are talking about getting different ones, but for now, they're just sticking with the buyer and the seller. So you are kind of stuck with just editing this one or editing the seller guide.
Okay.
Maggie, if you do delete something out of here, how do you go about getting it back?
So that is the nice part about having, oops, excuse me. When you add a step, I can pull up a default step. So if I deleted my appraisal step, my appraisal step is now available to select again. So if you delete a step altogether and a default step and you want to bring it back, you can go ahead. Once it's deleted, you now have the ability to add that default step back in.
That's easy enough. Thank you.
You are welcome.
Maggie, that only applies to the default steps and not the new step that you have added, correct?
Right. So if you deleted one of the ones that you created, you're going to have to recreate it again. But at least you will be able to it's sort of like the reset button, right? To go back to the original steps.
I have a quick question. I came in a little late and caught, I think you said get pre-approved and home insurance are smart steps that you can not customize or only minimally? Yes. What can you customize?
The only things you can customize are let me go back to the actual buyer guide. Hold on 1 second so I can show you. The only thing you can customize are what the title, they get pre-approved, and the little, the pretext here, why you should get pre-approved. Those are the only two things you can customize here.
And otherwise it sends them to Keller Mortgage?
Yeah, so it'll pop up it'll pop up a little thing about Keller Mortgage. So if you didn't want to, maybe you wanted to push your own lender, you could just delete this step and add a new step in.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Any other questions regarding how to go ahead and customize this? Nothing? All right, excellent. Let me show you real quick. So we're gonna see if this works. I connected my phone to this so I can show you guys. Awesome. And sometimes it works. So to give you an idea of what this looks like inside the app itself, down in the bottom middle, you're going to see guide, right? As the customer. Oops. And one of the things you'll notice, it does not like running, my phone does not like running Zoom and the app at the same time. So let's see what we can get to me. Let's see if I can get it to go here. There we go. Okay. So you can see once I go to guide, I have a buying guide and I have a selling guide. And these are the ones that I've customized for myself. And to give you an idea of what that get pre-approved, if I click on that, it goes right to information about Keller Mortgage. All right. And then we have, for example, Tour Homes, right? And then as your seller goes through it, they can go ahead And if they complete a step, they can hit completed and they can go to the next step. Let's go to one. So you see here under tour homes, let's just say I haven't started tour homes yet, they can mark the step as completed and they can go to the next step. And as you can see, I've got little check marks down the side for the ones that I have completed here. Okay. Same thing with the selling. So you guys can go ahead and see that. And as they go ahead and do that, you will get notified on your commands that they have checked off that particular stage, so that you can follow along with them as well, showing that you have done that. One of the things that is right around the corner is, I'm going to stop the share here. Okay. Okay, back here. If you are in somebody's opportunity,
Tasty.
in their opportunity in the seller profile, you can see if they have an association with your app. In this case, this one is not registered with the consumer platform. And then you can see their guide if they're following along with the guide. This is another reason to share your app with people who are doing transactions with you. And the cool thing is you will be able to check off items that they have completed for them as well. So if they did not go and check it off, you will also have the ability to check off that they have completed it as well. Questions on that?
Okay. Can I answer a question?
Yep, go ahead.
I mean, this may sound kind of dumb, but so what is the point of doing this for the customer? What would the customer get out by going, like, checking these steps?
So if maybe they don't know how to check it off, or maybe you want to just check it off for them to say like, oh, we've got pre-approved, right? Like if you knew it that beforehand, you can go ahead and you can check it off for them and just give them a sense of completion. Right?
I see. So, so for us, it's basically sort of keeping him in the loop with us and kind of working and
Yes, exactly.
sort of like a guideline to kind of basically literally what it is, just to follow so they know where they stand and how many more steps they have to go, right?
Correct, yeah.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. And then, I'm not sure how quickly it's going to show.
I got one question.
Sure.
How does a client get to this page, or is this something we link up to our website?
Which page? I'm sorry.
With the listing and the buyers, the listing for buyers, the steps for a buyer or a seller. How does
Just the buyer and seller guide? Yeah. Okay.
yeah, how do they get to that, or is that something we need to prepare and then put a link in our listing,
So
in our webpage?
two ways. The first is on the app, which is what I just showed you, right? So
Okay.
if they're on the app and they are signed in, they have their own account, that middle step on the app is guide. And then that literally just walks them through the whole process. That just goes through your entire guide.
Okay.
And then on top of that, you're also gonna see, I just happen to have my, let me see, actually. McDowell. If you're on your website and they're logged in at the website, you are gonna see, assuming I can remember my password. Here we go. So we're on the website. There's also the guide here as well. Do you see that, Frank?
Yes.
Yeah. So as long as they're connected with you on one of your platforms, the app or the website, they're going to see their steps with the buyer and seller guide.
Okay.
Okay.
And another dumb question, and this is probably something that I'm ashamed to have to ask.
No such thing.
Which app are you talking about? I've got two. I've got and I should have three, but I've got two. Kelly and then the KW app.
This is the KW app.
So when they log in
Mm-hmm.
to the KW app, I've sent it to them. It's branded to me.
Mm-hmm.
They find a home they really like, and I'm the listing agent. How do they get to me through? What is the process that an applicant, a client would go through to get to this step? They open the app, and then what?
Sure. So I'll show you on my phone again. So hold on one second. I'll stop the share here, and I will reshare on my screen. Okay. Right. So if I open that KW app, that red KW app, get out of here. Whoop. Okay. So this is what they see when they log in, right? So
Right.
let's see this. So that guide, do you see the on the icons on the bottom, do you see the middle one?
Yes.
Yeah. So they just have to click guide and then it pops right up.
Okay.
And then they can go either buying or selling, whichever side they're going to be on for the process.
Now this assumes that I've had some kind of conversation with them before I gave them my app and sort of go through this process and say, hey, I'm going to give you this app. This is how you use it. These are the things you could do.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a definitely good conversation. You're like, hey, as we go through the process, here's my app, and you can actually follow along the process with me on this app that I have. And if you go right to the guide, if you go right into the guide section, you'll be able to follow along with the process.
Okay.
A lot of interesting things in there you might want to read, right? So there's, it definitely helps them.
Sounds like I need to write a script or a
Yeah,
page guide to say, here, there you go.
Yep. And then at the same time, especially if you're a buy side, at the same time as you're following the guide, you can search for properties on my app, right?
That's
So
right.
it's sort of
Exactly.
a dual thing there for sure.
Okay, that's very helpful. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Meg, you have a question?
And as they kind of walk through that process, right? If they like a house, and let's just say I wanted that in my collection.
Meg, you have a question?
Yes.
Yeah, this is Dan O'Donnell. So one of my, I guess it's my own thing with the KW app is when you open it up, you see a map. There's nothing that says my name. There's nothing that says Keller Williams. There's nothing that even directs them into, they have to kind of like just search around to find anything. There's nothing there to prompt them to really do anything. You just get that, what you have on your screen, and you go like, how do I get a house? You know what I'm saying? And so the neat thing most people do is just typing in the top thing. But I'm just curious, do you know what the reasoning is on?
Yep, so a couple of things. So also you'll be happy to know they've just added some instructional stuff with it as well. So when if somebody brand new goes in and signs up for your app, somebody completely new, there's going to be instructional videos for them. Like, here's how you do this and here's how you do that. And it's actually something that I've wanted. So I think that's really cool. But the reason why it looks like the way it does and it works and acts like the way it does is because this is what customers want. They did a lot of research and they did a lot of stuff that we didn't see, but they did a lot of, I'm trying to think of the word Q&A, but testing, doing,
Right.
and they had people, this is what people wanted. They wanted to be able to just come in, see what's around them right away, which you can. Right, the current location, this is where I am now. So you can go ahead and this is actually the way they wanted it. They wanted it more like a Zillow experience and less like they just wanted to get to the business of looking at houses.
Yeah, but this is to follow up on Dan's point. I understand it, and I've heard that explanation as well. But if you find a house you like and you click on it and you go, oh, by the way, who's the agent listing that house? Someone else's name could come up. And while I understand that that's what customers want, especially buyers, I'd like them to see my name first when they open the app. And I realize this can bring them to other agents, but I like my name to be on it, you know, when they open it up.
So, I mean, and I get that that's what a lot of people feel like, but honestly, if they have the app,
Hey, how you doing?
then they already know who you are.
Good.
Like they know you. If they have the app and someone shared it with them, they know who you are.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Well, I
So,
want to remind them. That's just my 2 cents.
oh yeah. I mean, every time they go into more, you're at the very top, right? At the tippity top of who you are. And if they want to set up settings and things like that, they are reminded that you are here. Just so you know. And I just wanted to show you guys. So let me stop my share here. And
Can I ask you a question, Maggie?
Yeah, Joanne.
Does that mean these apps are no longer branded to us?
No, they are. You just saw her on mine. I'm
Okay.
branded. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they're branded. And so just to show you.
So if somebody's looked at a house they like, they click and they want to go see it and they click set up a showing, they're gonna get me.
They're gonna get you.
Oh,
They're
okay.
gonna get
That's
you.
what okay. Just to be clear, thank you.
Yeah, and just to kind of show you that, right? So this is my contact card here, right? And you can see, hey, today I checked off tour home step completed, staging my home. I can see all the stuff that I've viewed, logged into my agent site. Let's try to think of this one here. I just scheduled a video tour, right, for this particular property, right? So I'm getting everything that they're doing, right? So I can see they've edited their collection. They've added some more favorites to the thing. So I can see everything that they're doing within the app. So I'm not questioning what my client is doing, if that makes sense. I can see it all because they're using the app at the moment.
So
I have a
Maggie,
question.
this is Dan again. So as I'm doing this, so I'm sitting here and I just put my location, whatever, and I pulled up any house. And the first thing that it says is, you know, courtesy of, and it gives another agency,
Yeah.
name and everything else. And then we search through, I mean, at the bottom, it does say, you know, schedule a tour, you know, a video tour. It says ask your agent. But I think a lot of people, and I know this isn't you to do this, but it says ask your agent. Okay. And I know if they hit that, it's going to say, you know, this will contact Daniel, but they're going like, I don't want an agent. I have an agent, or, you know, and so I don't know. It just, you know what I'm saying? It just, there's just something there. I still keep on going back to that I don't know that that's, I mean, I know it'll draw to them that they put ask your agent, but some people, you know how they don't want to get tied down to, you know, to someone, haven't had a chance to talk to them about agency or anything like that. So, you know, it's kind of like saying, contact the person that's going to sell you your car, you know, and you get 1,000 calls from this guy or something. So, I mean, I guess that's my, you know.
I mean, because you're on it already. If they have it, they know you. If they ask an agent, there's no like contact information for the other agent here. It's not like Zillow where you click on a button and it contacts somebody else, right? I mean, it's all going to you. So, I mean, if they're already there and it's going to you. There's no middleman here. So,
Right.
Well, I mean, and I don't want to beat this, but like Dan said, and I just want to add on to that, with all the marketing and campaigns and stuff Keller Williams presents to us, the phrase that comes up often is, we want to be top of mind with these people. And I would just like that when they're in the app that I gave him, I'd like that, I mean, not overwhelming, but I'd like that constant, subtle indication of my name so that I want to be top of mind while they're looking at those properties. And I don't think.
If they're using your app, you should be. And at the same time, too, you're getting notified when they're in there. Let me tell you, if someone's been in your app and doing things, if you don't contact them soon, right, you may be missing an opportunity there.
Okay. That's just, like I said, put it on the wish list.
Yep, absolutely.
I don't think it would take away, putting our name on there, I don't think would take away from the purpose of someone wants to go in there and look at a house. But I want them to be reminded while they're looking. This came from Frank Ford. He's a great guy, and this is a wonderful app. And I, like you say, when we get notified, obviously it's our responsibility to call them. It's a small point. I don't want to beat it, but I think Dan and I are in agreement on this issue.
Yes.
And I don't want to speak for you, Dan.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, your name is in there. When they go in and set their settings up, they go in the back end to look at all that stuff. It is there. So just to let you know that.
Yeah.
So it's not like you're not there whatsoever. And like I said, it is connecting you, and you should be, if they're in there looking at stuff and favoriting things and things like that, you should be in contact with them. If you aren't, then you're missing out for sure, right? Some of this has to be done by you guys too at the same time.
So,
Yeah, well, technically, Maggie, you're right. You're right, Maggie, in that the only way they have it is if we sent it to them. So they know that, you know, they're looking because I sent it to them. So, I mean, they do have it. So I get that too.
Yeah.
So that's a valid point.
So if somebody requests a showing on a listing, where does the request go? To our app or to command?
So
or
you're gonna get two things. Yep. So you're gonna get first of all, you're gonna get a Kelly notification that someone's requesting a showing, and then it'll tell you who it is, and then you just go into your command, and then you can see, like the last time I did this was a little while ago, but do you see here, they requested a video tour in this case.
Yeah. Okay. So I just requested, I have the app and I just requested a showing. How long does it take for the Kelly to show a notification?
Not that long. I think it only took like a couple of seconds for me, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I guess I have to pay more attention here. Well, so far I've only received referral network requests, you know, so.
No, but yeah, no, like when you start sending this stuff, pay attention to your notifications, because your notifications, you're gonna start getting them. And so
yeah, because I want to do the guides before I send the app to everybody.
Yeah.
I had another question, and I think.
And like I said, always do what I do, right? I'm in here as a fake client, right? So that way I can see, like, as I do stuff, I can see it in my contact card, what I'm doing. So I know what it looks like too, and how to respond to them from their end too.
Yeah, yeah.
Maggie?
Yes.
Sorry, Lauren had a good question. I don't think the app is, she has it up here in the comment section, in the chat. Did you see it?
I may have missed it. What's the question?
All right, so basically she's asking if we can use the app, or the clients can use the app for rentals as well as buying, or like buying up.
So you can filter for apartments with the app.
How do you kind of do that? So my friend's looking for an apartment, and I was like, oh, hop on the app, and she was like, I think it's just for buying. And I was like, oh, I'll have to ask about that. Where do you set up like the filters?
Sure, hold on one second. Let me pull that up. I apologize for my daughter in the background. She is definitely, today is a bad day.
No need to apologize at all.
No, not at all.
Kids are wonderful.
Let's see. Hold on one second. Let me get in. You should have seen it while we were in here. She was asking for me to like put Parmesan cheese in her hand to eat it. So, I mean, I don't blame her. I love cheese too. So, there you go. You want cheese? Okay.
She's like, that sounds like a good idea. Let's do
Yeah,
that.
it's great. I love cheese. All right, let me get this up here. Yay. You guys see it?
Yep.
Okay, so you see at the top where it says more? Right underneath the search bar. If I hit more, it's gonna pull up all my filters. And one of the filters I can do is apartments under property type. Does that help?
Oh, okay. All right.
Cool.
Maggie, there's a property type right next to more also.
Say that again?
Right next to more, there's a property type. I think it brings you to the same place.
You can do it there too. You can also see in like, I like to show the more just because you can see all the things you can change because there's quite a few. There's quite a few filters you can go by. And then if you stick the filters, it will stick with it, which is good as well.
What
One of
is
the cool things I like about this app is if you search and you leave, it'll stay the way it was when you left, so you don't have to redo the whole thing over again.
What does the show hidden listings mean on that filters page?
So when I go to a property, like if I really hated a property, it does not like Zoom. There you go. So we can get it to work here.
So if we can hide all the other properties other than our own listings, we could do pretty well.
Yeah.
Nothing on the market, just one.
It's for
Now
them.
that's branding, Dan. There you
That
go.
is definitely a dandy thing. Okay. so-
Thinking out of the box. You know?
Yeah, it's a good one. I like that.
Yeah.
No, when they're in a property, I'm it just doesn't want to work. It literally hates doing Zoom at the same time as this. I'm trying to show it if I can get it to stay up for a second. I do. See, there's a hide. So if it's on their map and they eliminate it from their search, they can hit hide and it disappears.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. So it's for them if they don't want to see the property
Okay.
anymore.
Maggie, you mentioned that since you uploaded the app, they made some changes.
They have.
Can you update the app without having to reload it from scratch?
I mean, it works for me. So depends on how your phone is set up. Like for a lot of iPhone users, you have to actually go in and upload it, but because they have it set up in their settings. But as long as your settings are to auto update your apps, it should auto update.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maggie?
Yes.
Yes, hi there. This is Sue. I came in a few minutes late. I apologize, but if I go into my contacts and I have the two apps, KW and Kelly, I want to use the KW app. Is that correct? Not the Kelly app?
What are you trying to do?
If I want to if I went into my contacts, am I able to check all of them off and send them all an app invitation at the same time?
So you can do that with a smart plan.
Okay.
In Command, do you know what smart plans are?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So there is a smart plan just to promote your app. And
Okay.
so you can set up that smart plan and then you can add as many people as you like to that smart plan and it'll send them the invite to the app.
And it's to the KW app versus the Kel app. Is that correct?
Kelly is for you. That's like your mobile command. And the
Okay.
Keller Williams Realty app is for your clients and that's your search app.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Sorry, Mag.
Yep.
I don't mean to go back to this thing too much, but I don't think the property type is what we need to do in the app. I think just below it, listing type is what we need to do for rental. Because you can have a home or multifamily for rental, whichever. I just wanted to bring that up because I was trying to do it and it didn't come up and I played around with it. I just noticed there's a listing type for sale or for rent.
Oh, okay. Yep. No, thank you.
Just below that.
Yep.
Yep, that's it.
Well, wait, listing type? Yeah, I see it. For rent. Yeah, you can turn on for rent. Yeah, so my mistake. Yeah. So underneath that, yeah, you see it on my screen? See where it says for rent? Yeah. And I can turn that on. So now they can see for rents. So my mistake. You're right. Thank you, Ali. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Any other questions?
My teeth. I want my teeth.
She really wants her cheese. What can I say? The girl likes her cheese.
Throw in some crackers and wine and I'll be over.
I do have both.
So Maggie, I'm pretty far behind with all this, so I guess my question is there a tutorial somewhere that I can watch?
Absolutely.
Okay, where
Yeah.
do I find that?
So one of the things I definitely recommend for you is that Kelly guide. That Kelly guide really walks you through the entire process. So if you are here and
Yeah.
if you go to the Kelly Guide, see where it says, so most people have this bar at top. If
Oh,
you
I
don't-
see. It says Explore Kelly Guide.
Yeah, so if you do this,
All right,
it'll
that's
actually
number one.
walk you through step by step of making sure everything is okay with your app. So Heidi, I know you said that you were looking to make sure everything was set up before you start setting people the app.
Yeah.
This is a great walkthrough to make sure you are good to go, right? And it just gets started, walks you through some education, walks you through your settings, your guide, just like the same thing we just did with the guide, walks you through the building that smart plan to add people to send it to. And then, so it is definitely a step-by-step section. So that will really help you.
And that's on command?
That is on command, yes.
So it comes up on the homepage?
It comes up right on the homepage, believe it or not.
Hey, Maggie.
Yeah.
You hear me? Yes. So when you want to give somebody your app, like, what do you give them? Like, just give me your phone number. I send you a link, or is that the only way? Or this is something like, let's say if I want to write on my business card,
Mm-hmm.
my app, is there a way or?
Yeah, so you can, there's a couple ways. You can put it on your business card, absolutely. So in order to put it on there's a link, which you can find in consumer. And when you're in consumer, you're gonna have a site and app settings button in the top right. If you click on that, in your URLs, you are gonna see, take a second, there we go. App, see this down here? Your app URL settings.
Oh,
So that's your app URL. So if you need to like just copy and paste that somewhere and put it anywhere you need to put it, it's right there, just for you.
On your signature line, everywhere.
On your signature line, everywhere, wherever you want to go. Yeah.
Okay.
Can I update that, like the URL to my name or something, or is that the?
No, that is what it is. You cannot change that.
You can't change the text.
You can't change it, and it's case sensitive. I'm going to say that out loud. It's case sensitive.
So it's not like sometimes, and I just want to be clear about this because this is a big thing on my request list. Sometimes when you point a URL in a document, that goes in there, and then you can change the text to say, click here, and the URL is behind it. You can't do that with this. That's what you present to the client.
So, I mean, you can do that. You can go to like, you can put like, click here and then have it go to this particular website. That's
okay.
Yeah,
That's fine.
You can do that. Yeah, this is just the actual address for the app itself. So I want to make sure that you guys see that for sure. And then that's one way to do it, right? You can do a smart plan, which sends a nice little email about, how to do it that way. Or if you have the app on your phone itself, when it's branded towards you, there's a nice little share button on it that you can share right from the app itself, and they will get you your branded app. So any of those work. There's 3 or 4 different ways to do it. You can also do a social post. Social post works as well.
So they have to download the app before they get access to it, or they're gonna go to the website when they click the.
So if they
click the URL,
so this
they just have to download the app.
Yeah, this URL just goes to a page like this, just to show you. This is mine.
Oh, okay.
Yep, and it says, "Hey, let's get
download the app."
Yeah. Or they can send their phone number and it'll text them the information. So, but that's where that link goes. If that helps at all. Cool. All right.
Okay.
I'm here. Okay. Any other questions?
I was having an issue joining the Zoom before, so today was my first day. So
That's okay.
I guess I missed a lot, huh?
That's all right. It's being recorded, so it'll be up on the YouTube channel, so that we can so you can go watch it later.
All right, good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So what do I search for the YouTube? Like just Maggie?
I think it's Keller Williams New England region, something along those lines. And
Okay.
there's a channel for Keller Williams England region, and they have all
Okay.
of their YouTube technology videos up there.
Yeah, when I go to the calendar, I couldn't find anywhere Boston, like KW/calendar. I couldn't find anything, so it's like
It's okay. We'll
it's fine.
I'll help you out with that.
No, I'll go YouTube. I'll go YouTube.
All right. Cool. Any other questions I can help you with?
Maggie, if you give me a second, I'll try to get that YouTube channel posted.
Awesome. Thank you.
Hey, sorry. Is someone else? I have an issue with the MLS being the web the page. I haven't set up correctly. You know, I send myself email, but the email when I click it, it says you have to log in as a, you know.
So I'm sure I can help you with that later.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, Joanne. Joanne graciously posted the YouTube channel. Thank you.
The video is also going to be on that Google Drive also, right?
No, this one's just going to be on YouTube.
Okay.
Yep.
1 minute.
All right. Awesome. Any other questions? Anybody else I can help you with? Anything else I can help you with?
I have a question.
Yeah.
I sent myself a showing request, and so I just went into command, and in command it doesn't say which home.
You sent yourself a showing request?
Well, I went on my app, and you know, I have, so I sent myself, yeah, I want to see this home. Why would it not show me which home? In command.
So you didn't request a showing?
No, I did.
You did. Okay.
I viewed the property, and below I said requested a showing.
You request a showing, and it didn't show you though.
So I went into command to see
Yeah.
how it showed up, and it just says user contacted agent. I would like to see.
Hold on 1 second, please. Let's see. Hold on. Listing type. Return for it for sale. Yes. Okay.
Kind of, yeah. So I wanted to see how it would show up.
So if I request, oh, so you did ask your agent instead of schedule a video tour.
Yeah.
Okay. So the ask your agent. So right now, what it does is it's supposed to show what property you were looking at right before the ask your agent shows up. If it did not do that, let me know.
It did not, because the next entry below is March 21st.
Okay. All right. So there's a bug there for sure, because it's supposed to show you the property they were just looking at before they.
Right.
Yeah.
Because if I have to go and ask which home, that doesn't look too good.
No, it does not. So I will find out about that for you.
Is that just me or?
It's supposed to show what you were looking at before that. So it should be in the timeline. They were looking at this property and then asked for a showing for that property. Okay. So I will look into that for you for sure. Okay. All right. If any other questions? All right. Excellent. So I hope you guys customize your guide. I really do believe in it. It is a really nice way for your people to kind of just follow along the process. It really is. It's what makes it sort of different than everything else, all the other things out there right now, for sure.
Yes.
Okay. All right. If there are no more questions.